Heat 1 of 2. So Whittlesea, Corio, Doncaster, Northern Country region, Wangaratta, Berwick, Knox and Whittlesea B team will be your competitors. Finishing positions in this heat 1 of 2 of the women's, or the girls under 15 4x200 metres. And competitors on the track now, the girls under 15, 4x200 metre, heat 2 of 2 of these timed finals. So in lane 1 we have Geelong B team, lane 2 Brighton, lane 3 Knox, lane 4 Ballarat, lane 5 Geelong, lane 6 Box Hill, lane 7 Sandringham, and to round out the field, lane 8 Essendon. And they're in the starters' hands and they get underway in this faster of the 2 heats. Ballarat, our country region team, comes in with one of the 2 fastest seed times. So the team in blue in lane 4 will keep a keen eye on them as the race progresses. Box Hill also will be a fierce competitor in this race, as we see their black and white uniform charging down the back straight around the bend for that first change. The team from Essendon as well has got a solid start. And we're getting a bit dizzy here from Root. Sorry about that, guys. So Essendon and Box Hill look to be the fastest so far in this second of the girls 4x200 metre heats. Ballarat, as we mentioned, coming in with one of the faster seed times, is sitting in 3rd or 4th position as they come into the second change. They might have a couple of quick athletes to close out their relay legs. Box Hill has a commanding lead, though, across the rest of the field. Ballarat does look to be holding on to one of the minor positions as they just are off camera, and Essendon on the outside of them. But it is all Box Hill as they come across the stagger past Knox's back straight and making that final change.
It was a really clean change, that last change by Box Hill, but we can see Ballarat moving in nice and close. Let's see how well this change goes. Ballarat had an excellent change there, and you're going to see the Ballarat athlete really wind in and actually try and catch up on this Box Hill athlete out front. But she does look like she wants to hold on to this, but again, hotly contesting for the 3rd placing is Essendon over Geelong. So it looks like we still will have Box Hill take this out, followed by Ballarat. Essendon, Geelong, Sandringham. And I missed those others there. We're obviously looking again. We're looking at the shot you're looking at. So waiting for the still image. It might have been one of the other Geelong teams coming across the line there.
It was interesting to see how that race played out. The first couple of legs from Ballarat weren't the strongest across the field. Box Hill had it, well, they had it all race really, but Ballarat did close out strong with their last 2 runners. Essendon, solid performance by them as well, and Geelong were always in the mix. So well done to the top few teams, or all the teams really, of that under 15 girls heat 2. Few races of this block of 4x200 straight timed finals. So no more time finals. When we say time finals, that's 2 races that have times and will be combined for a final placings. The rest are either going to be straight finals, one-off races where medals will be presented straight after, or heats going into finals later on in the day. So this will be our last block of time finals as we look ahead to the first of our under 15 boys 4x200 metres, Kim.
Introducing event 14, the boys under 15 4x200 metres. This is the timed final of this event. In lane 1 we have Stall. In lane 2 we have Berwick. In lane 3 we have Bendigo. In lane 4 we have Keel or B. Lane 5 Williamstown. Lane 6 Corio. Lane 7 Bacchus Marsh. And in lane 8 we have Whittlesea City. They're your competitors in the boys 4x200 metres for the under 15 age group. So moving along the back straight, you can see out the back there is Whittlesea City. Be their first event we've seen today. Would that be right, Michael? Or it may be their second?
I've seen a couple of Whittlesea,
Okay.
especially in the older events. I think Heat, one of those girls, under 15s was.
Perfect. So we're looking at them at the moment out in the field. Now we haven't seen Bacchus Marsh come back into shot just yet. Here they are into shot now. So we can see Keilor coming through. Corio in lane 6. And I think Williamstown just will come into shot in a moment.
Keilor running strongly, though. They probably have kicked off this third leg amongst the fastest. I know that from Corio on his outside is a very, very quick runner. Many years in the junior squad system.
Yeah, a twin there,
One
Michael.
of his twin brothers. That's why I'm not.
Absolutely.
Jack or Sam, I believe.
I think I'm going to say Sam with the red socks.
Quintessential Aussie names, Jack and Sam.
And they are...
There we
go.
go.
You
Twin to
couldn't.
twin.
There you go. The red and the.
Or is that the same guy running twice?
I don't know if that's legal. Okay, so watching the boys come into the final straight, and it's either Sam or Jack Wardlow from Corio coming into the finish, followed by Keilor, Williamstown,
Whittlesea
or Whittlesea City on the inside.
Strong run from Corio. The twins just at the back end of their 4 runners charging towards the finish line. Williamstown finishing in 3rd position there. Whittlesea, Bendigo, Stall, Bacchus Marsh and Berwick to round out the field in the first of 2 heats.
So excellent run by all those boys there in that particular race. We're seeing the boys preparing their blocks and almost ready to go. So we may start to introduce that next race for you now. So this is section 2 of 2, the boys under 15 4x200 metres. In lane 1 we have Springvale. In 2 we have Geelong B. In lane 3 we have Knox. In lane 4 we have Werribee. In lane 5 we have Geelong. In lane 6 we have Keilor. In lane 7 we have Sandringham. And in lane 8 we have Doncaster. And memory does serve me correct on this one, Michael, that this is the team from Werribee, which is my hometown. They do take off in these particular 4x1 and 4x2, and even the medley. Generally reigning, I think, triple gold medalists
from last year.
Yeah, and the year before, I could pretty close to say they are.
Just looking at our list here as well, Kim, seeded highest also. Yeah. So your tip could be spot on.
Yeah, whether they get as close to that record, I don't know. But there's every chance. The record's 134.01 and they ran a 137.81 at region. But these boys have been running, as probably most of the athletes in these older age groups, possibly running together as a team of 4 for many, many years. So, yeah, it's great to see. Obviously, the only team event we do have at Little Athletics, giving the kids an ample opportunity to run as a group as opposed to individuals.
Absolutely. So keen eye on the Werribee team in this Heat 2 of 2 timed finals in this 4x200 metres. And they'll be chasing 134 as the record.
They've picked up a new athlete as well this year, I think, in this particular age group as well, that's come across from Box Hill as a transfer at the start of the year. So whether he's also been aligned into that team gives them a bit more depth to work on in selecting their athletes. They've already changed there at that first change. Just you could have seen in the corner of the right to right of screen. And you'll see them coming around now. And this is one of the athletes coming through. So you take out the stagger of lane 4 and looking at that. And they've gone in. They've already passed the outside competitors. So the ones to watch more so are the ones on the inside. So we'll see how they come down to this change. Hopefully it's a nice clean change. You know, obviously a bad change can have a
and that was clean.
Catastrophic effect to what's going on. So Fortunately, yep, they're coming around now with only one more bat and change to go. And chasing down that record.
That is a strong, strong team. Our timing clock on the screen, unfortunately, isn't working currently, so we'll have to go to results hubs for the record later, but they look quick, Kim.
They are a well-oiled machine, but closely followed Geelong. We look like taking second. Keel or Knock, Sandringham.
Doncaster and Springvale and Geelong B team rounding out the field there as we look ahead to the front of the field.
Here we
Werribee
go.
Closing strongly.
It is Franklin, so excellent job. I would have hoped that he might have run through the line possibly a little bit stronger than that, especially if it was a record on the cards. But
maybe they weren't record hunting.
They may not. They may have just been being safe and getting that gold medal and then aiming for those couple of others that they do tend to compete for.
As you said, they've got a 4x1, probably maybe medley later on as well.
Yeah, they've got a sensational crew. But, yep, nonetheless, there obviously are a number of great teams that are competing in this age group. So shout out to all of them that they'll have a great championship as well. And, again, under 15s, you know, obviously next year they've got the opportunity to continue as an under 16. But, some athletes do move on to their senior athletic career in their pathway from littles to seniors. So congratulations to those competitors. Having said that, and we did talk about this a little bit earlier, the under-16 athletes are waiting to, or they're actually on the track, but we spoke before of when there's not enough competitors to make up 16 places. The second or the first of the time finals may not necessarily have a full 8 athletes in it. So in this particular case, we're focusing on, and great for the camera here, lane 3, 4, and 5. So they will just be following the 3 athletes around the track, so they don't have as much depth to cover. So you'll see now 5 has just come into corner screen. They've just into the start blocks now. So we have the cameramen have been very clever enough to actually jump over to that vision. Subway, obviously one of our sponsors. That shade there for the athletes is important. So as the athletes come up from the crouch, you'll see them come into vision.
But a great plug for Subway, Kim, as we see that tent heavily in the camera frame and the signage around the track.
Okay, so we're just going to follow those 3 competitors. So it's going to be great camera work there from the boys out in the field. So seeded times for these athletes. We had the Bendigo athletes with a convincing 2 or 4 second lead on Berwick, who are coming out of 4. So we would hope for big things from the Bendigo team in this race.
So although only a race of 3, they are still hoping for a quick time if they are to increase their overall once the results are combined on Results Hub later on. So LAVicTVLive.com.au, you can have a look up our Results Hub through our event page there. So Bendigo commanding lead over Northern Country and Berwick in the early stages. They will pass the baton first. Northern Country not too far behind. Let's see what their 3rd and 4th runners will have in the final stages. So Bendigo being a Northern Country centre themselves, a couple of the athletes probably are not Bendigo athletes, made up from the other smaller centres to make this team. Bendigo being a bit of a powerhouse within that region, generally would field their own teams. And actually is all country regions now that we see. Berwick being part of the Gippsland region.
It is. So great shout out to all of those competitors from those, even again, like you mentioned, the Northern Country region centres. So some of these athletes could be from centres that, and again, what constitutes a country region team to run is where one of the athletes from the centre have less than 6 athletes in their age group. So they can form a team of other athletes from other centres in their region. So we did see Bendigo just sneak across the line, just out of vision. Northern Country region in 2nd place and Berwick in 3rd. So congratulations to those girls, which is their last relay championship, Michael, for Little Athletics.
That's it. So hopefully on to continue their athletics journey into Athletics Victoria competition. I know Bendigo in particular has a pretty strong culture of senior athletics at their track, as they actually wear the same uniform as their senior club. So Heat 2 of two of the under 16 girls 4x200s as we near the end of our block.
That's right. So we're looking at now, we can see lane 2 is out in this particular race. So calling from the top, we've got in lane 1, Diamond Valley, lane 3, Mentone, lane 4, Keilor, lane 5, Croydon, lane 6, Whittlesea City, lane 7, Knox, and in lane 8 we have Cranbourne. So they're your competitors in the girls under 16 4x200 metre event. This is event 15. And this is the final section, 2 of 2 of timed finals. Our fastest competitor coming into this particular race would be that of Croydon. My apologies, Mentone. Mentone came with a seeded time of 1:46.78. You should be able to see that those times and the seeded times in the results hub. So conveniently, we've been very lucky to actually provide the seeded times in these events, which will give you a bit of an idea of where they ran at their region events.
So it looks to be a race of one so far. Cranbourne, the only team in camera. Whittlesea on their inside and Knox on the inside of Whittlesea will be amongst the first to change. Mentone on their inside, though, in the fluoro yellow singlets. Pretty hard to miss. Keilor and Croydon just come into screen now, and Diamond Valley round the bend as we see the athletes at the head of the field. It looks still to be Mentone and Whittlesea battling out in the distance there as they come into the front straight.
Yeah, Whittlesea City are really giving it a good run in this. Whilst Mentone had a 4-second faster seeded time, I think they've just changed before Mentone. So this third and fourth leg is going to be really, really important to hold that lead. Mentone has moved up quite a bit on this, keeping in mind that there is 2 lanes that separate the two. The fact that Mentone athlete has come up on her shoulder will put her in first position coming into that final change.
I believe that athlete from Whittlesea City could be Shahana Wijasundara, who holds multiple state records across little athletics age groups in hurdles and a couple of the speed power events. So quite a strong runner. As Keilor and Croydon, Diamond Valley, Knox and Cranbourne all make their changes. Diamond Valley's a little bit messy there. Back to the head of the race, we see Mentone. They were the highest seeded team, and they show it here on finals day. Mentone and Whittlesea City will be 1-2 in this girls 4x200 metre timed final. As we see Croydon, Keilor, Cranbourne, Knox and Diamond Valley rounding out the field.
Introducing the last of our gender 4x200 metre events. This is the boys under 16 4x200 metre event. There were 8 qualifiers, so there will be 8 starters. 1 race, no timed final. This is your final. Lane 1, we have Seaford. Lane 2, we have Corio. Lane 3, we have Wangaratta. Lane 4, we have Knox. Lane 5, we have Werribee. Lane 6, we have Mentone. Lane 7, we have Preston Reservoir. And in Lane 8, we have Berwick. They are your competitors in the boys under 16 4x200 metre final.
And competitors underway in this straight under 16 4x200 metre final. And how can you miss Mentone out the head of the field? Preston Reservoir. Might be the first time I've seen Preston Reservoir on track today, Kim.
I actually, yes, I think it might be their second, possibly, Michael. I think I did remember seeing them before.
How about Seaford? That'd be one of their first as well.
It is one of their first, absolutely.
Okay, got one right.
Yeah, we got one right. So Mentone are taking out the field in this particular race so far. Convincing lead coming into the final change, the final two changes. It's a great powerhouse leg, this one. Wangaratta, don't forget to keep an eye on them. They will start to move up into the vision in a moment.
Yeah, Wangaratta are one of the highest seeded teams, so we'll expect them to finish very, very strongly, as we said, over the years. And this might be this Wangaratta team have been pretty strong in a couple of the events in the older age groups. So
especially
that might be the same
years.
team that's been progressing through the age groups, as they might come on a camera shot pretty soon, but still Mentone and Knox in 1-2. We see Wangaratta in the teal finishing off pretty quickly, we would expect, as they round the bend.
Great traffic control there by those boys. They actually tend to manage that. It's more like a possibly driving through Bali in one of the roundabouts, and that all just sort of merges well together. So Mentone we've got coming up to the line, closely followed by Knox, Wangaratta. So great run by Mentone there. Knox, Wangaratta, Werribee, Preston Reservoir, Berwick and Corio.
And you do see the athletes getting better and better at negotiating the those messy changeovers in the older age groups. It's almost like if something does go wrong, it's going to go wrong a lot worse when the kids are a bit older and faster, but you do tend to see cleaner changes. But you even look sometimes in the Commonwealth Games, Olympics, World Championship relays, and some of the changeovers there, it's, as the athletes get older, sometimes they just do not get better at it.
I think it's, though, as well, obviously, the speed that they're coming down the straight in as well. Like, they're coming down into a change at ultimate speed. Someone's taking off, so you've not just got the element of 8 athletes, you've got 16 in a congested space. So really, really close race. It is amazing how well they can manoeuvre in and out of that type of area. So we're moving now. It does look like we have moving over to a different block of age groups. So these are the mixed 4x200 metre events. So these are heats or races with a timed final. Bread and butter, as soon as it comes across the line, provided there are no infringements or disqualifications, what you see is what you get. So hopefully those out there watching you will take advantage of that opportunity now. Moved away from the time finals, we're looking at the mixed 4x200 metre straight final events. We'll just take a couple of moments while they prepare the athletes for the track, but we'll be back with you shortly. Introducing to you event 17, the mixed 4x200 metre medley relay event. Relay event. These are the under 9s athletes. So these teams compile of 2 boys and 2 girls from the under 9 age group at the centre. They can run in any order. It doesn't have to be boy, boy, girl, girl. It can be any mix and combination that they want. These athletes have progressed as they did in their previous events, based on first position at their region event, to a total of 8 competitors for the final. In lane 1, we have Whittlesea City. In lane 2, we have Wodonga. Lane 3, we have Waverley. Lane 4, Cranbourne. Lane 5, Berwick. lane 6 Ballarat, lane 7 Geelong, and in lane 8 Knox. The fastest seeded competitor comes from lane 3, which is Waverley. And it ran a 2:20.55 at their region event, but very closely followed by Berwick in lane 5. They're the two at this stage we'll keep a close eye out for, but understandably anything different can change at these events.
So Berwick, Geelong, Waverley, they all look to be in the mix amongst the first baton changes. Waverley, I would say, has got the best of them. Berwick and Cranbourne on the inside lanes looking pretty good as well. We tend to look to lanes 3, 4, 5 and 6, who would be the highest seeded based on their region times for the leaders in the early stages. But we always like looking into lanes 1 and 2 as well, because they often are off camera and the stagger sometimes can be favourable to them. But at the moment, it is all Waverley in lane 3 who's dominating this race in the early stages, Kim.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Michael. We've also got Berwick coming up there. They're tiring a little bit towards this final change. Did notice in the background as well, Cranbourne have moved up. Cranbourne are in lane 4. They're on the other side of Waverley. And I think you'll see them coming to picture anytime soon. Ballarat's there also. So the little lady out in lane 3 is running a great leg there. And she's going to cross over or remotely start, probably stay in the same space that she's in anyway, because keeping in mind she'll be going towards lane 2 or lane 3 where her staggered competitor will be. And she's still got a fair lead on the others. So the boys are trying to chase her down as well as the girls. The girl from Berwick. So we've got Cranbourne. We've got Berwick there in 2nd and 3rd. So Waverley taking it out from there. We've got Wodonga. We'll just bring this to you. Obviously, there are a few technical issues we're having with the stream, so we are hoping to that kicks back in. So we've got Waverley coming down to the line, looking for the gold position. So Waverley, Berwick, Cranbourne really trying to chase them down.
Ballarat sitting in 4th position there and will cross the line in 4th.
We've got to wait for the camera on that one, I think,
That could be
Michael.
pretty quick. Pretty close, sorry.
Geelong, Wodonga.
We need to look for... Who's that there? Whittlesea City.
Yep.
Knox. Yeah, I'd look to results HUD, ladies and gentlemen. That's...
For that third place, I think it's...
Absolutely. There would be a dip to the line there, so it would be very, very close. If we look at LAVicTVLive.resultshub.com.au, you'll be able to find all results from today, including the result of that race we've just finished, to see who was our 3rd place winner, because it was too close for us to call there. Or too close than we're prepared to call and get people's hopes up for, should we say. So you can see on our screen, LAVic.resultshub.com.au is the website you're after. So the second of our, or should I say second of our timed straight finals for the 4x2 is our under 10 mixed. We have in lane 1 Wangaratta, lane 2 Ballarat, lane 3 Moe, I believe Moe for the first time today, and lane 4 Oakley, could be Oakley for the first time today as well. Lane 5 Doncaster B team. Lane 6, Keilor, lane 7, Werribee, and lane 8, Bacchus Marsh to round out the field of 8 in our under 10 mixed 4x200 metre straight final.
Now, Michael, I did say before we were talking about those Werribee boys in our under 15 team that came across the line. Now, I did say if he ran through the line, he might have got the record. The record was 134.01. He ran through at 134.43. So,
stiff.
Nonetheless, gold medal winning. Okay, so these athletes are often underway in the under 10 event of the 4x200 mixed event.
And Oakley, in their first race of the day, from my memory, has made the most of their start here at the state championships, and it got away to a quick start and will be amongst the first teams change their baton in this mixed final. So we have 2 boys, 2 girls in each of these teams. The combo in which they place these athletes is completely up to the team. You could have 2 girls going into 2 boys, boy, girl, girl boy, girl, boy, whatever you would like. We see Keilor and Bacchus Marsh will be the best of them so far. Doncaster on the inside of them running a strong race, as well as is Q and Oakley, we can see just on screen now. But Keilor looks to be the team to beat at the moment, but passing the baton in first position. Bacchus Marsh running a strong leg as well. And Doncaster just on the bottom of our screen below the subway tent, passing the baton there as well. So we see mostly the girls in this third leg. That's just the way it's fallen. Knox on the inside of Doncaster, and Keilor still taking the win, but Knox is charging towards that stagger and may just take Keilor on the inside, and they do. Knox into Keilor, into Doncaster.
I think it might be Moe there, Michael.
Oh,
Moe. It's Moe.
Oh,
so shout out to Moe. So Moe have come through. I think it's the first time we've actually done that one, but Moe have now taken the baton first at this change. Keilor in second, Doncaster in third. So Keilor, it's going to be a bit of a tussle here, I think. A tussle, sorry. We've got Moe on the outside, Keilor on the inside, but Doncaster is actually not worrying about what they're doing. He's worrying about what he's doing. He's going to chase them down. He's running down from lane 2 on the line between lane 2 and 3. He's run it safe. I'm going to call him for second on the line, but let's see how he goes. We've got Keilor in first, Doncaster in second, Moe in third. What a great admirable run by all those three boys. Oakley in fourth. Werribee in fifth, Bacchus Marsh in sixth.
Wangaratta
in seventh.
And Ballarat to round out the field.
Congratulations to those boys. That Wangaratta outfit, Michael, has me it's very similar to Pakenham's. But I look down the sheet, I can't see a Pakenham. I'm going to know where I go to next.
As Moe's is similar to Knox's from the back,
that is
apparently.
correct. Oh, no, it is,
so
absolutely. It's just
Moe
that
little
bit of a red that's in the front that gives it it's a more of a maroon colour.
And we're looking at our YouTube stream here. We've got a couple of shout-outs. Hey, Cassandra, love hard eyes from Rodney Dayton. Cassandra King, great run, NCR, Northern Country Region. Ruben Miller says, go Knox. So throw up your comments on YouTube. If they're interesting to us, we'll read them out. Tell us where you're watching from, what you're doing today. Who you're supporting. Dominic Ellison, go Knox. Thanks for all the support. We have over 100 people watching the stream right now.
Jumping back again, we just talked before about that really close race between the mixed under nines between Ballarat and Cranbourne. There was a fraction of, it was 2:22.42 for Ballarat as third, and Cranbourne were 2:22.44. So 1,000 of a second one, yes?
Yeah, very close.
In between the two. This race is underway now, which is the mixed under 11, 4x2. Lane 1, Warrnambool. 2, Moe. 3, Knox. 4, Mentone. 5, Cranbourne, Malvern. Lane 6, Williamstown. Lane 7, Essendon. And in lane 8, Wangaratta.
There's some flashy shoes from the Wangaratta athlete there. The orange and purple number in that lane 8. Williamstown were amongst the first baton changes there. Mentone right in the middle. Too. Essendon in the black and red, just on the outside of the track. Wangaratta running hard. Camberwell Malvern is always there. Knox on the inside of Mentone. There's a few big centres, big players in this race so far. It is pretty hard to pick. Essendon looks to be running very strongly on the outside, and Camberwell Malvern looks to be running strongly in the middle of the track. And Essendon and Williamstown's right there as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they come across once they straighten out on the back straight, on Knox's back straight, should we say, with their 7 marquees of support up there. Mentone has a good run on the inside of Camberwell Malvern, and Essendon is holding strong, Kim.
Shout out to the Williamstown young lady there. She's really given the boys a red-hot run for their money. She's actually racing against 4 boys, and I reckon she's going to come about, if you put them back to a flat start, I reckon she might probably place her about second over the 3 of them.
Very strong run.
Excellent run by that young lady. Going into the final change, Essendon have dropped the baton, oh my lord, and then Camberwell Malvern, Mentone, Williamstown. Essendon have come back in. Wangaratta, Knox, Moe.
And Warrnambool there
and
to round out the field.
round out the field. But it's going to be a quiet tussle now between Camberwell Malvern and Mentone to the finish line. Don't cut out Williamstown in this race. She's running fiercely behind them. But it looks like Camberwell Malvern, possibly Mentone, are going to take it. No? Yep, Camberwell Malvern, Mentone, Williamstown. They'll be your medal winners in this particular race. Essendon, Knox, Wangaratta. And final competitor crossing the line, Moe. Well done. Warrnambool, sorry. It was a quite exciting race. We'll see what eventuates out of that baton drop. Keeping in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that if a baton is dropped by a competitor, the competitor that drops the baton is the athlete that must pick up the baton. So we'll leave that in the safe hands of the officials. And remember, that's just the time and the placing is all provisional until the results are posted. Yeah. So go, yeah, don't see her, don't see her. Don't twos in. Don't get too in.
So competitors in this under 12 mixed relay event: in lane 1, Waverley; lane 2, Diamond Valley; lane 3, Knox; lane 4, Geelong; lane 5, Williamstown; lane 6, Wangaratta; lane 7, Berwick; and lane 8, Keilor, to round out the field. Amongst the fastest seeded teams are Knox in lane 3, Geelong in lane 4. They will be our ones to watch as we get into the second baton change of this event. We have Knox coming on screen now on the inside. Geelong running a strong race. Berwick and Keilor on their outsides, rounding the bend quite nicely. Wangaratta in lane 6, and Williamstown is there as well in the blue and yellow uniform. But it's Knox who is taking command of this race in the early stages. Geelong running well also, and Berwick not travelling too far to get here today, coming in with fresh legs, and they've been a factor all day in this racing.
I would say they had a super sleep in as well there, Michael.
So Knox is off screen. They are ahead of the rest of the field. Berwick, Keilor and Wangaratta are right there as well. We love to see our country teams who have travelled very far to be here today doing so well. And Wangaratta on the inside of Berwick is running strongly as we get into the final baton change, as we see the stagger coming up very, very shortly. So Knox would have changed the baton first, followed by Wangaratta, Berwick and Keilor. They will be your top 4 teams, as we will see the camera pan out pretty soon, and we'll see Knox. And Geelong was in there as well, so they'll be our top 5 teams, should I say. The Victorian record is a 149.74, and Knox are going to challenge it.
Well, he's just going to miss it, so unofficial. 150 for that
Knox,
particular race for Knox, but congratulations to them on a wonderful run.
So Knox, Geelong, Wangaratta will be your top 3 in the under 12 mixed 4x200 metre relay.
Introducing event 21, the mixed under 13 4x200 metre final. In lane 1, we have Frankston. In lane 2, Collingwood. In lane 3, Wangaratta. In lane 4, Berwick. In lane 5, Whittlesea City. In lane 6, Caulfield. In lane 7, Werribee. And in lane 8, Ballarat. They're your competitors in the under 13 mixed 4x200 metre event.
Of course, the numbers that we see to the right of the start lists in orange, they are our centre numbers. So each centre in Little Athletics land is allocated a number based on at what stage they joined Little Athletics Association. So Geelong, being our first centre, has number 1. So the little numbers that you see on the start list is what that means. So most of the centres will have that number on their uniform. So it is an identifier. when we are calling the race, of course, we will be more looking at which lane and just the look of the uniform that we can identify. The numbers are often too small for us to call, but it's a traditional thing with the numbers that we have.
That's exactly right, Michael. And you'll also see the last competitor, which is the fourth leg, will have generally, if it stays on, a hip number on their right side. That hip number is a white sticker with black writing, and that helps guide the photo finish crew in an unlaned event of the athletes coming across the line. So that also helps guide us where we need to identify the athletes based on their lane and the sheet that we have sitting in front of us, which defines who they are from that lane. So at this stage, we've got Caulfield out there in vision.
It's a battle of the blue singlets at the moment. Caulfield, Ballarat and Werribee are taking command early on.
And we've also got Frankston in this one as well, Michael. It's also got blue and Whittlesea City. So there's a few out there that have got the blue.
Good luck to us.
I know. So coming around into the straight, we've got Caulfield out front, Ballarat.
Just
coming through in the middle is Berwick, just sneaking through, as well as Whittlesea City. So we'll just see as they come around from that stagger. The baton change vision does give us a little bit of an idea, but Berwick are going to come around. They're going to be chasing down Caulfield. Caulfield are in lane 6, so they are one of the 4 fastest seeded times. In actual fact, they are the fastest seeded time in this race. But we'll see how it progresses now to the back straight. So he's going to move over now, make his way down the track, and pass the baton to the final competitor in this race. They're going to have a nice, easy change there because they've got no other congestion to pass the baton into.
So Berwick have a massive lead. They didn't even come in with the highest seed time, Kim. They were amongst the quickest, but there are a couple of other teams that had a fast seed time. But that is Caulfield out the front, as I've just realised. So that all makes a lot of sense now.
Berwick are coming second, Michael, and Wangaratta are going to be chasing. Is it Wangaratta in third? So this is, I'm going to be calling a VBP potentially. They'd really chase that down. 140. Yeah, well, let's wait and see for the, we'll wait for the official time to come up. But our clock is not deciding to stop at the moment, so it is running through. So keep an eye out for your competitors if they are coming across the line in these final stages of some of these races to see their time or an approximate time for how they've come across.
Of course.
We'll jump back and have a look back at that a little bit later on just to see if there is, and also check with our crew in communication to see if there are any pending VBPs at this stage. Of course, VBPs are always pending. There are some requirements from an association level that have to be passed before they can be awarded to those athletes. It even includes things like, Michael, having the track certified or having a certificate to say that the track is what it is, it's measured the way it is.
Absolutely. All the equipment has to be up to date and there's a ratification process. So, yeah, all that happens post-championships in the background. But with fair certainty, if you see a result posted on the day, there's a high likelihood that that result will come through to a official best performance. But, of course, can't be. Us commentators aren't willing to say it's official on the day.
Okay, so we'll introduce now. We're just the athletes are getting prepared in their blocks. We're looking at event 22, which is the under 14 mixed 4x200 metre final. In lane 1, we have Oakley. In lane 2, we have Ballarat. In lane 3, Cranbourne Malvern. Lane 4, Albury. Lane 5, Wangaratta. Lane 6, Keilor. Lane 7, Berwick. And in lane 8, we have Werribee. They're your competitors in the mixed under 14 4x200 metre final. We're off to a nice clean start. The athletes just making their way round the back straight of the track. We've got Keilor moving up nice and convincingly now, already past their Berwick competitor and chasing down the Werribee competitor on lane 8. So we'll see how these changes go.
So Berwick, not Caulfield, Kim. Berwick, Keilor and Werribee will be amongst our leaders here. Wangaratta in the middle of the track, always a force in relay championships, travelling a long way to come down. They always perform quite well. Berwick and Werribee will make amongst the first couple of changes that we see on screen past that subway tent in the middle of the track. Keilor making a strong run as we see Albury as well, a force in the inside of their Northern Country counterpart in Wangaratta. And it is Albury who will pass that stagger past the discus cage amongst the first athletes. The tall figure on the back straight. Wangaratta is up on his shoulder, and it will be interesting to see in this cluster.
Okay, we've got another vision now. So it's going to be Albury, Wangaratta, Camberwell, Malvern, Keilor, Berwick, Werribee, Oakley, and Ballarat at that change.
I reckon this boy from Wangaratta has just run a straight 4x200, so there might be a few in this mixed races who will be backing up pretty closely as we see Keilor charging towards the finish line. Wangaratta into Keilor and Albury. Will Keilor have enough time to pass the Wangaratta boy on the line? It looks
he's
like
claimed victory.
Wangaratta may have just got him on the inside, followed by Keilor and Albury.
I think Wangaratta's called that, but I think he might have put his arm up in haste, and I think it might be, I don't know, I'm going to say Keilor.
As the boys get away.
I'm going to say Keilor, and I feel that poor young fellas has lunged at the line in every effort to get across. That is a photo finish decision.
Real Results Hub job.
And that is that is a Results Hub. We're going to look back at Results Hub for that one very soon.
So the website is LAVicTVLive.resultshub.com.au.
That's right. So, yeah, we'll just wait and see on that one.
What a finish, though.
Oh.
You saw Keilor coming from a mile off. I didn't think he'd have enough time.
Oh, he absolutely wound them right in. It was fantastic. Great run by both competitors. So it does look like we've made back a little bit of time, which is fabulous. So we are back on track for scheduling. So we will keep that, I'll keep that results sheet to the side, or that start line sheet to the side, so we can jump back and have a look. With these races obviously progressing quite closely, and when there are closer finishes, it does take a little bit more time sometimes with the photo crew to critique the photo finish. And then formulate the results so they can go through. Obviously, infringements and things like that as well can also have impact on. So we'll keep you posted on that. Okay, introducing the field for this under 15s mixed 4x200 metre event, which is event 23. In lane 1, we have Berwick. Lane 2, we have Dandenong. Lane 3, we have Keilor. Lane 4, Ballarat. Lane 5, Corio. Lane 6, Box Hill. Lane 7, Whittlesea City. Lane 8, Essendon. They are your competitors in the mixed 4x200 metre event for the under 15 athletes. This is a straight final event. A bit of a chin wag about that one.
So athletes almost in the starters' hands here. Once again, we're keeping a keen eye on the comments coming through on YouTube as well. So again, some support from lots of the centres, people watching from home. Go Knox, go Knox, go Berwick, go Whittlesea. Morning all from sunny Brisbane, go Berwick. So let us know where you're watching from. Extra points for interstate and international viewers, of course. We'll definitely read those ones out.
So the athletes again from lane 1, we have Berwick. Lane 2, Dandenong. 3, Keilor. 4, Ballarat. 5, Corio. Lane 6, Box Hill. Lane 7, Whittlesea City. And in lane 8, we have Essendon. The competitors in the mixed 4x2 for the under 15 age group. We've got great vision there of that first change box.
Have we got the
the
Corio twin combo as well?
Combo going on. We'll see if they change in.
Dandenong. Could be one of the first times we've seen Dandenong today as well. Second.
So we're moving into the straight here. We've got in lane 5, Corio. Lane 6, Box Hill. fiercely racing out this final stages of this second leg.
We've seen that athlete in
and
those
here we go. We have
socks as
Jay,
well.
we have Sam and Jack changing to each other once again. And we see Corot in lane 5 moving across now from the stagger. Box Hill closely contesting from lane 6. And as the vision comes in, we'll be able to see who's next. Looks like Whittlesea City and Keilor coming in after that. So we've got Corio, Box Hill, Whittlesea City, Keilor, Ballarat, Essendon, Berwick, and Dandenong. So the final stages as we come around the top of the bend, we've got Box Hill convincingly finishing off this race nice and clean.
Corio putting all their energy with the twins in the middle. But Box Hill just coming over the top, too strong in the end. So Box Hill into Corio, and third place will be Whittlesea City. Keilor, Ballarat, Essendon, Berwick.
And Dandenong.
Will that be Dandenong to round out the field there? In the under 15s mixed 4x200. So 2 more 4x200 metre events to go, Kim. We've got the under 16s mixed 4x200 metre straight final. And then we have the multi-class invitational 4x200 metre event.
So the multi-class invitational events, those athletes ran at the regional event. They are our multi-class athletes. And these are athletes that are non-able-bodied. And they have formed a region team. So with the non-able-bodied athletes, all their results accumulate to a score and a time based on their ability. So it'll be great to see these athletes get out on centre stage and have a run around the track. So yeah, we'll wait and see for those to come up after this, the under 16 mixed event. So we've got 8 starters in this race. We'll introduce those athletes to you in just a moment on this rather cool and calm day at Cranbourne at Casey Fields.
Good running conditions, I'd say. Not too windy, not too hot, not too cold. You see a few people in the bottom of the screen drinking their coffees and wearing their hoodies, but could definitely be worse conditions for a state championship.
Okay, so we've got the all clear from change box 1, so we'll go and introduce the field to you. In lane 1, we've got Ballarat. Lane 2, we have Melton City. In lane 3, Diamond Valley. In lane 4, Berwick. Lane 5, Whittlesea City. Lane 6, Keilor. Lane 7, Springvale. And in lane 8, we have Knox. They're your competitors in the mix under 16 4x200 metre events.
And word on to you guys at Little Athletics Victoria for allowing the 16s to continue to compete. It's so good. We're excited to see these young people competing.
We've actually seen a real significant increase in those age groups this year, especially RAF as well. Bit of stats and figures on that. The boys are figures we had at the same time last year. We had 129 registered under 16 boys, and this year we have 141. Under 16 girls, we had 157 registered members last year, 171 this year. So it's a really great thing to see these athletes continuing on into their under 16 age groups, especially in the boys seem to be a bit stronger than the girls, where the girls in previous seasons were a little bit stronger. But it's evening out a little bit now, which is great. So moving into the back straight, it does look like we've got the Keilor team moving up on the field, but Diamond Valley just coming to shot now. Now, Diamond Valley are running from lane 3. So if you put that into, they're going to be changing over first, followed by Keilor. And then Ballarat, I would say, is your first 3 to change successfully at that first change box.
And Melton City just on the bottom of the shot there on the right side of the screen. Is that their first race today, Kim?
I believe so, yes, it is their first today, Michael. So coming down the straight to complete the second leg of this event, we've got Keilor changing.
We've got a tight shot on.
Clean. That was a nice clean shot there. And Ballarat in lane 1. Springvale on the outside in lane 7 are coming through.
Seems to all be Ballarat at this stage, though, having a massive lead over the rest of the field. But we saw that with Corio in the previous race as well, so you never know who their last runner will be for each of the teams. So Springvale just on
Whittlesea
the outside
City.
of shot as well. Whittlesea City running strongly, but Ballarat will get the first clean change going into the final 200-metre leg, Kim.
They are, and this will be, I convincingly say this could be a very strong gold medal opportunity for them in this race. The minor positions, second and third, I'll leave up to the finish line shot to actually show us. And I think it's going to be a tight one there I think they might have a pending VBP there. Coming across the line is Keilor second, Springvale third. Was that Whittlesea City fourth?
Yeah, I think it was, Kim.
And then I think we had Berwick fifth.
So for the
Diamond Valley, Knox, and Melton City.
So for the Ballarat team,
just for our viewers at home, the clock on the screen is a guide. It's a manually run clock. It's not run via timing solutions. So the clock the results that you see on LAVicTVLive.com.
Now, as we prepare for this multi-class race now on the infield, we will just let you know that the clock you can see on screen is a guide as well, as Raf just mentioned.
Yeah, it's a guide that... No. We've got an interesting race now, haven't we? We've got the mixed multi-class. You've just talked about that before. It's always good to have a EMR kind of setup.
Absolutely. So these athletes aren't necessarily from one centre. They're from a combination of centres in the Eastern Metropolitan region. Now, they may require assistance at their change boxes, and that's why our officials there to give them a helping hand on getting on their way. So it'd be really great. Hopefully we get a lot of involvement here from a few shout outs if you're there. If you've got one of your multi-class athletes competing today, we'd love to hear from you. It's so great that we can engage at Little Athletics with our multi-class competitors, and they can feel very important and part of a state championship event. And it does look they're off and racing with our first competitor.
So Cranbourne Athletics Centre, or Casey Fields, has a bit of a special place for multi-class athletics, being the first time that we ever hosted a state level multi-class event for Little Athletics Victoria. A couple of years ago, did our first invitational event at the state championships. So the multi-class athletes competed in 100 metres, 800. It was discus and long jump. Following year was at Lakeside Stadium, and now that's first time that we've ever had relays for multi-class athletes at the state championships. So the multi-class program in Little Athletics is progressing very nicely, and something that hopefully things like this we can build on into the future. So it's a second baton change there, and he's absolutely taken off, Kim. Have a look at this.
I know, he's running a great race, and and I think that you can see just before in one of the shots that the crowd are in there and they're really supporting, giving material along, and this is great for their confidence. So he'll come around the straight, and he's did about 110 metres to go of his leg.
We can see all the crowd support as well, like a few cheers and hands clapping on that back straight there or on the bend.
So he'll come down to the start-finish line. So I think quite fortunately we should have the last two girls running the final legs.
I believe that's the way it will work out, being a mixed event. We'll see how the team has been put together.
Well, not necessarily.
So
that's correct.
It looks like it will just be mixed. As being an invitational event, might not conform to exactly the same rules as the rest of the teams have done, as we see the applause on the back straight or on the bend there. Now we can see, as we mentioned earlier, with the multi-class, multi-class is multi-classification, which means different abilities, different categories of ability for these athletes. So when they're actually in a competition, not a relay necessarily, say a 100-metre event, they will all compete and they will get a score or a percentage score based on their ability or their category. And so often the person who crosses the line first might not necessarily be the winner based on their score and based on their percentage. So that's the sort of stuff that we've been working at a state level for a couple of years. And this is a very strong finish from this Eastern Metro runner for this multi-class team. So essentially what that means, you could have an athlete in a wheelchair competing against an athlete with cerebral palsy, and one crosses the line first and the other might end up winning on the results sheet. So it allows lots of athletes to compete in the same race or the same events together as they cross the line. The first ever multi-class event at a state Little Athletics Relay Championships, Kim.
That is correct. And the great part, these young athletes will actually also be rewarded special pennants. So they will,
cool.
because it is an invitational event in its preliminary stages of the championship, they will get some pennants for their efforts today. And then once the event then becomes an official event, they'll be rewarded the same medals as the athletes. So invitational will always be that there are pennants awarded for the athletes. But congratulations to those 4 athletes as part of their efforts that they've done today. So
and we've got
outstanding efforts.
4x100 coming up later as well for the multi-class. So we might see the Eastern Metro team back running in that event around 4 o'clock also. So
just coming back to that last race too, we the cameraman just let me know that someone kicked the tripod in that shot there. So we apologise for that. I did have it all roped off, but obviously red and white tape don't mean much to some people, Kim. They just like to sit there. So
yeah, and unfortunately, it's if your vision is obviously through the camera, you're not looking at the tripod legs of someone that's standing in front of you. So yeah, no, it was a great effort to get it back up on into side as well. So
yeah, we're very lucky to have 2 good cameramen out here, Isaac Agostino and Ashton as well, Ashton McDonald. So I keep wanting to say Ashton Kutcher.
It does have that
ring.
It rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Yeah, but anyway. I don't even know who Ashton Kutcher is, to be honest. But
just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, there is some transformation on the track right now. You can see we are moving into our mixed 4x100 metre heat. So these are 100 metre legs for 4 athletes completing 1 lap of the track. That's how a 4x100 metre works. So we are changing. So no longer the athletes are running 200 metres, they'll be running 100. So there'll be a lot of quick changes, a little bit of vision moving, and we'll do our best to bring that to you at home or wherever you may be. So just the formation of the races are the under 9s to under 13s compile 3 heats. Okay, they will compete in finals later. These are not timed finals, they are heats. And the under 14s to under 16s are 2 heats, which will then progress to finals. Progressions to finals work the following way. The first competitor in each heat progresses to the final, and the remaining 6 or 4, how many we got? We've got 6 will actually make up the remainder of the race. 5. Okay. So we'll just give the officials the opportunity to get these athletes ready on the track, but we will be moving on with a scheduled time of 11:55. So we'll give you a couple of moments to grab a coffee, grab a quick toilet break, and we'll be back with you shortly. We'd like to welcome you back to our stream today of the Victorian Little Athletics State Relay Championships here at Casey Fields. We are moving now into our mixed 4x100 metre heats. We'll be starting off with the under 9s and progressively making our way through to the under 16s. Just mentioning, as we did before, the under 9s to under 13s, you'll be seeing 3 heats of each age group. With the under 14s to under 16, you'll see 2 heats. These athletes progress from their heat time through to finals, and the finals will be run later today. The first event we're looking at today is event 25, which is the mixed under 9 4x100 metre event. In lane 1, we have Waverley. In lane 2, we have Werribee A. In lane 3, we have Berwick B. In lane 4, Geelong B. Lane 5, Sandringham A. Lane 6, Mentone A. Lane 7, Doncaster B. And in lane 8, Cranbourne Malvern B. Keep in mind these athletes, so obviously 3 heats of 8 are randomly seeded into these lanes based on their region event. So the athletes now are preparing in the starters' hands. Keeping in mind it's 1 lap around the track in this instance with 4 legs of 100 metre events.
Now, boys, changes at every corner. So Isaac, I know there's a cage there, but try and get in and get, you know, as many of the athletes as possible changing.
So a little bit different in this event to the 4x2s. The athletes will stay in their lane for the entirety of the race, so their finishing sequence will actually be laned in lanes 1 through to 8. And they're off to a nice clean start. We'll get some vision on the first change where possible to try and capture as many of the athletes as we can. So Doncaster look out, they're off to a good start out there. I think we're moving down the back straight now.
It does look like Doncaster and Camberwell in second, but the stagger is a bit confusing. So we'll have to see how they fare.
Like Waverley, Doncaster have received Cranbourne, Malvern, Geelong, Werribee, Mentone, and then Berwick and Sandringham. So we'll get the vision when we get to the top of the straight with this final change. That will tell a lot more of a tale. That vision's perfect there. We've got Waverley first, Doncaster second, Werribee third, Cranbourne, Malvern fourth, Berwick fifth, Geelong sixth. We'll see how they come down to the line. But it does look like Waverley are going to come down for a convincing win in first. Doncaster second. Werribee third. Oh, it might have been actually Cranbourne, Malvern for third then. Werribee, Berwick, Geelong, Mentone and Sandringham. So congratulations to those under 9 competitors.
So we have heat 2 of the under 9 boys mixed 4x100 metres. In lane 1, Waverley. Lane 2, Werribee. Lane 3, Berwick. Sorry, going back to that start list, I had heat 1 there. Heat 2 will be lane 1, Coburg B team. Lane 2, Doncaster. Lane 3, Whittlesea City. Lane 4, Frankston. Lane 5, Chelsea. Lane 6, Knox. Lane 7, Melton City. And lane 8, Wangaratta to round out the field of 8 in the second heat of the under 9 mix 4x100 metres, as Melton City looks to get a strong start out in lane 7. Doncaster on the inside has made a clean change, as well as Knox. So Doncaster looks to be the goods so far. Frankston is running well in lane 4, and Whittlesea City in lane 3 are always strong competitors, as the athlete from Doncaster just falls over as they make that change. We see Chelsea come onto screen now, and Coburg on the inside to round out the field. Doncaster, they have led from the start. They continue to lead as they make the last change in that 30-metre change box as they enter the final straight. So it's Doncaster into Whittlesea City. Frankston making a charge to finish second in this second heat. But it is all Doncaster, and they will take out Heat 2 and be automatic qualifiers for the final this afternoon. So Doncaster, Whittlesea City, Frankston, Knox, Wangaratta, Chelsea, Coburg, and Melton City. Oh, that really tested me.
Nice call, Michael. Okay, as we prepare for the next heat, which is heat 3 of 3 for the under-9s mixed 4x1, we'll introduce the lanes to you. In lane 1, we have Berwick. In lane 2, Maryborough. In lane 3, Cranbourne, Malvern. Lane 4, Ballarat. Lane 5, Essendon. Lane 6, Albury. Lane 7, Bacchus Marsh. And in lane 8, Yarra Ranges. They're your field for heat 3 of the mixed under-9s 4x100 metres. And as you can see in the shot we're looking at right now, there is quite the contingency of people milling around the finish line, trying to get their call on the finish placings.
Get the money shot.
And getting a money shot for their kids. So, you know, keep in mind, obviously, what you might see from a visual perspective on our vision isn't necessarily always the vision that's seen on the camera, which has a very fine eye on that finish line. So, times, placings are all put together from that system. Which is very resourceful, very helpful to us on these days. So they're off to a clean start. And we're probably looking out for lane 6 and lane 3, I'm going to say, based on their fastest seeded times from this race. So looking for some nice clean start, some clean changes on here. Cranbourne Malvern had a really tight change in that one, but they've made up some ground now on the athletes. Albury as well are going to be the ones to watch as well. So there's a few in here that actually are really strong. Albury had quite a sloppy exchange there, but Cranbourne Malvern and Albury, Bacchus Marsh, probably the 3 we're going to be looking at in here. Berwick are closely chasing by in those final stages of that particular change. But we've got Cranbourne Malvern, Albury, Bacchus Marsh. Yarra Ranges even out there in lane 8 are going to be coming up on there. So Cranbourne Malvern, closely followed by Albury, Bacchus Marsh. They'll be your top 3 in this particular heat. Ballarat, Bacchus Marsh, and we had Yarra Ranges also there in the mix.
So that was the last of our mixed 4x100 metre events. Log on to LAVicTVLive.resultshub.com.au to see the final results and the qualifiers for our finals later on this afternoon, starting at 3:55 and going till 4:24. That is for the mixed 4x100 metre finals as we look ahead to the first of our under 10 mixed heats of the 4x100 metres. In lane 1, we have Wangaratta. Lane 2, we have Keilor. Lane 3, Essendon. Lane 4, Melton City. Lane 5, Berwick. Lane 6, Werribee. Lane 7, Pakenham. And lane 8, Bacchus Marsh to round out the field of 8. So Bacchus Marsh on the outside making an early change. Berwick is also running strongly in lane 5. Essendon in lane 3. The black and red uniform is unmistakable. Keilor on the inside of them makes an early change going into the second last leg of this 4x100 metre relay. Essendon is looking the goods so far. We have Wangaratta on the inside and Pakenham on the outside who have had solid runs also. But it's Keilor and Essendon on the inside of the track. Keilor changes first going into the final leg, but Essendon looks like they're moving even more quickly. It is going to be a neck and neck battle going into this final straight, but it should be Keilor that will hold out Essendon to take out Heat 2 of this mixed 4x200 metres. Heat 1, sorry. Bacchus Marsh following the two of them for third position.
It was actually a great run there by both of those athletes there from Essendon and Keilor. They were seated in very, very closely together as well, and I think that the finish result was quietly a tiny bit faster than they may have run at their region event. So congratulations to both of those teams. We'll wait for the official results to confirm that. And obviously, hopefully their time they've just run now will put them in a good place for their final assignment. But running that close together, would you say, Michael, in a heat would almost get you quite closely, nearly a secure time in the final, especially for second placing. So the idea of a second place or subsequent after that is to run down that first competitor as much as you can in order to get yourself a place in the final. A final only places 8 competitors. So we'll introduce now to you the second heat of the under 10s. In lane 1, we have Ringwood. In lane 2, we have Cranbourne. 3, Doncaster. 4, Mentone B. 5, Williamstown. 6, Ballarat. 7, Doncaster. And 8, we have Brighton. So Doncaster off to quite a good start. They've come in with the fastest seeded time for this event. So provided their changes are nice and clean, they should be right to roll. So let's see. We've got the second competitor running now. He has caught up on his competitor in lane 8. And as more athletes come into shot, we'll have an idea of how these changes are placing. Doncaster look to change first. Mentone second. Cranbourne, Ringwood, Williamstown very much in the mix as well. It's a really hotly contested placings for those minor after this first position of Doncaster. How these remain clear first. Cranbourne are chasing them down from lane 1, and but Ringwood as well in lane 3. So Doncaster look fit to take this one out. Closely followed by Ringwood, Cranbourne, Ballarat, I'm going to say, and the minor placings, as you could see, come across the line.
So underway in this third of 3 heats of the 4x100 metre heat. Lane 1, we have Sandringham, followed by Yarra Rangers, Kew, Mentone, Moe, Brimbank, and Nunawading to round out the field. And Nunawading gets away an early change, although that looks like it's the only team on screen at the moment and the only team in the field. As we see the rest of them appear on the screen, we see Kew make an early change as well. The figure from Mentone in the middle of the field. Moe on their shoulder, running strongly as well. Sandringham, always a strong competitor in relay championships. And Knox getting away a messy change there in the middle of the field. Nunawading still running a good race, holding strong, and Moe is challenging them on their inside Mentone, but it is all Q in lane 3. It was hard to make out that uniform there. Q, lane 3. Moe on their outside and Mentone, followed by Nunawading, Sandringham, Brimbank, and Yarra Rangers. And then Knox to round out that field, the heat 3 of the under 10 boys, or under 10 mixed, 4x100 metres, should I say.
You'll notice in this one, Michael, as well, that there is always a number of yellow flags popping up. There's a lot of movement, there's a lot of activity in such a short space of time, so there is a busy time. You'll find that maybe some results may not appear as quickly as you might wish to see them normally, but they'll be they'll be reviewed as quickly as they can with the infringements, and the results will be posted as soon as they can, so those athletes can then prepare themselves for the finals a little bit later this afternoon.
Of course, when we say the first team qualifies for the final, that is pending any protests or disqualifications, of course. So once again, stay tuned to Results Hub if you want to make sure of any of that stuff. Otherwise, we're just calling it as we're seeing it.
So we'll move into now event 27, which is the mixed 4x100 metre event for the under 11s. In lane 1, Ballarat. Lane 2, Coburg C. Lane 3, Werribee. Lane 4, Box Hill. Lane 5, Mentone. Lane 6, Williamstown. Lane 7, Geelong B. And in lane 8, Essendon. The competitors in the under 11 4x100 metre race. So we can see Essendon on screen out to a nice convincing lead. An incredible convincing lead, closely followed by Geelong. So Essendon are our fastest seeded team coming into this race. So Geelong, Mentone, looks like Box Hill, Coburg, Werribee and Ballarat in that such or very close to order. Essendon have got this at the moment. Their last change was a little bit unsuccessful, but they've got through. Essendon, Mentone, Geelong, Box Hill, Williamstown. What a great run by Essendon, a fantastic race. We have Geelong, Mentone. And Ballarat bringing up the field.
And on the track now, we have heat 2 of 3 of the under 11 mixed 4x100 metres. In lane 1, Camberwell Malvern, followed by Wangaratta, Sandringham, Knox, Caulfield, Geelong, Keilor, and Yarra Rangers. And off to a quick start, we have Keilor on the inside of the track. Geelong is making a good move as well. Should I say Keilor on the outside of the track that I was just looking at. One of the highest seeded teams in lane 1, as we can see just on the right of our screen, has got away to a good start as well as we progress to the later stages of this race. Keilor, Geelong, Camberwell Malvern. But it is all Camberwell Malvern make the quickest change in the pale blue and the red shorts in lane 1. Keilor, will they have enough to charge home and get up on the shoulder and take Camberwell Malvern? It doesn't look like it at this stage, although he's going to be very close.
Keilor.
And
I'll call it
Keilor,
Keilor.
Camberwell Malvern. and Caulfield in third position there. And a blanket across the rest of the field. So once again, first position in each of the heats will automatically progress to the final later this afternoon. And then the next best time should be the next 5 fast times will also progress to that final. So keep a keen eye on Results Hub, lavic.resultshub.com.au.
This is correct. The Heat 3 of 3 in the under 11s, mixed 4x1. In lane 1, Corio. 2, Coburg. 3, Mentone. 4, Bendigo. 5, Sandringham. 6, Cranbourne, Malvern. 7, Geelong. And in lane 8, it does look like there is a false, so it gives a little bit more of a brief preview for this race. So obviously, where possible, we will try to call the first 3 athletes across the line and the minor position best, but obviously the vision captured. If you are looking for your competitor, it is a good idea to keep a close eye out for who they are and where they come across the line. So we'll just wait for the starters to be ready. Like we are now in the starters' hands. Okay, and they're off to a nice clean start this time round. Fastest competitors to keep an eye out for would be Ben. We'll see how they come around the track, and Geelong being the 3rd fastest qualifier. They've all run under a minute at their respective region event. Are proving that they are going to be a hot contender in the outside. So keep an eye out there on Bendigo, Geelong. Even Sandringham possibly there as well. They had a nice clean change there in that particular second or third change box. As they come around the field, it looks like Bendigo and Geelong are going to change almost simultaneously. Coburg, Sandringham. 3, Coburg, Bendigo, Geelong. Almost running in that order. Geelong, Bendigo, Coburg. Your top 3.
Caulfield, Sandringham, Camberwell, Malvern, Corio, Mentone to round out that field there, Kim.
Berwick as well, not Caulfield. Yeah, those
Berwick.
uniforms are so close.
Especially when they flash across the line.
Yeah, it's just a flash of colour that we're trying to see, and obviously work off a sheet in front of us. So more patience with us getting this right most of the time. So we'll just prepare now for the next race.
So we move on to the under 12 mixed 4x100 metre relays. One of the lunch break today at the Subway State Relay Championship. We have Frankston, lane 2, Geelong, lane 3, Diamond Valley, lane 4, Western Country Region, lane 5, Knox, lane 6, Nunawading, lane 7, Sandringham B Team, and lane 8, the Mighty. In the one of the fastest seeded times, or one of the fastest seeded centres from this event is Diamond Valley in lane 3. We'll keep a keen on them in the early stages of this race. Geelong, always one to look for in relay championship events. We see Nunawading getting on the outside in lane 6 as well. Altona running strong,
Sandringham,
as is
unfortunately.
Sandringham as well. Diamond Valley, as we said, lane 3, they are making a charge, and they will get their second change away. Sandringham running strongly, Frankston on the inside, and Geelong also running well. Western Country region at the tail of the field at the moment. But it's Diamond Valley clearing about 10 to 15 metres on the rest of the field. Sandringham with his forward lean. Altona is there as well, but Geelong on the inside is going to be the only challenger for Diamond Valley. But they are clearing the field by about 20 odd metres, and they're going to take out Heat 1 of this mixed under 12 4x100 metres. So Diamond Valley, Geelong, Nunawading, a team in white, Knox, and
Introducing the second heat of event 28, which is the mixed under by 100 metres. In lane 1, we have Mentone B. Lane 2, we have Berwick. In lane 3, we have Diamond Valley B. In lane 4, we have Keilor. In lane 5, we have Essendon. In lane 6, we have Waverley. Lane 7, we have Albury. And in lane 8, we have Ringwood. And comes from lane 4, Keilor. Keep an eye out for 7 and 8. Who also have fast seeded times as well from their respective region event. So another competitor to watch out for in this particular race as well is Diamond Valley B. So we're probably looking at for the contest between 3, 4, 7 and 8, which will push them around the track as well, because obviously 3 and 4 being next to each other and 7 and 8 being neighbours, that would be a really good way to see. I think you'll probably find the 4 will come closely across the line together. Okay, and the race is off and underway. Nice clean start, no false starts, which is fabulous. So again, as suggested, they're off to change first out with Ringwood as well. So Ringwood Keel will probably change at exactly the same time together. Keilor is raring down the track on the back straight at the moment, if you can see that at the moment. And we'll see how they come into the change area as well. Looks like Ringwood, Keilor, probably Albury as well in that second change. Let's see how they come around. So we've got Keilor now coming around the top into the final straight. Keilor, Ringwood, Albury. But Keilor looks like with that fasted season time, are going to come across the line, then Ringwood, then Diamond Valley, and Albury. With the final competitors coming across the line as Berwick, Waverley, and
Mentone in the mix as well.
Congratulations to those seeded times in that particular instance did appear to come across as they were. So first, second, and third, and fourth for that matter. So great job to those guys in that particular race.
So as we turn our attention, Heat 3 to round out the 3 heats of the mixed under 12 4x100 metre relays. A reminder that the finals for all these mixed 4x100s will be on